crazy. Crazy. She's still crazy. But she's good crazy now. The thing that all of those things and what I shared with you have in common is letting the Lord grab our hearts and pull out of them what is beautiful to him already and bring them out to the outside. When we step into our identities in Christ, we're really stepping into what he intended and the purpose that he has for us all along. And in that purpose, we find joy, we find rest. An LED strip along the bottom of that wall that's going to shine up the wall, that's going to make the flowers pop when the lights are off, stuff like that, to make this room beautiful, not because the room's important, but because we, who are the church, spend time in it. So, doing that kind of stuff. But we're hoping to have that screen up. That cord that's dangling right there, it's not sending enough power, the switch that we had over to this side. And astonish the people of Samaria. Let's backstory on Samaria a little bit. If you were to look at Samaria, you'd be looking at northern Israel today, into the West Bank. Have you ever been confused by why is it the West Bank? Where's the Jordan River? That's why it's the West Bank. Okay? I always thought West Bank, and I'm picturing I always confused the West Bank with the Gaza Strip, because to me, the Gaza Strip was on the west of Israel. So for some reason, it's just always the West Bank. But up near Nablus, there's two mountains, Ebal and Gerizim. And I'm probably saying those names wrong, and that's okay. And the backstory is that's where the Samaritans, if you're reading the Bible, would have lived. Okay? Now the Samaritans, and I've alluded to this in past sermons, the Samaritans were a group of people. They were Jews, but they were considered half-breeds by their southern brothers. You think racism is being called out in our world today? They were being racist. The southern Jews were racist towards the Samaritans. Okay? When I say our God is a God of restoration, it's crazy how much of a God of restoration our God is, and we're going to talk about that. So, backing all the way up into the book of Numbers and Exodus, when you're looking at, and into Joshua actually, when the Jews are coming out of the wilderness, and only Joshua and Caleb are being allowed to bring them back and to pull them out of the wilderness and come into the promised land and lead them there, because only Joshua and Caleb were faithful to God's covenant. Remember, Chris was talking last week about how they went up and they saw the giants, they were spying out the land, and Joshua and Caleb were like, yeah, let's go get them, man. Our God's a big God. And when they went back to the camp, the rest of the Jews were like, oh no, it's scary, we shouldn't go up. And so they had to wander a little bit longer because of their lack of faith. Real quick, open the drive. What did Chris cover last week? Are his verses in there? Well, he talked about Joshua and Caleb, though, and that ties in here. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going, because I'm all confused, but I'm going to let the Lord lead. I do that anyways up here. No notes. Here's where no notes doesn't help. That's okay. So the Samaritans, the northern Jews that